to Becky and Bayley. So we see Raw start. Was it with them starting? It was, right? Was it Becky? Yeah. Okay. So Adam
Because
Pearce
they're
in
in
the
the
ring.
ring.
Yeah, and it was like kind of super random. I was just like, what is going on here? So then we have Becky come out, and some people were saying they think that she might have to change her music soon because they're losing their rights to like CFO. I don't know. I'm like, that'll be really sad because
Ooh.
that's why allegedly a lot of their have already changed, like Johnny Gargano, Asuka, like that's why they've already changed their music, allegedly. So hopefully we
Allegedly.
don't have Becky's change because I feel like it's just her. You know what I mean? It was like it's been her since she was a no matter what she was doing as a character in WWE. So I feel like it kind of is one of those ones that's like it can't change now. But anyway, so she comes out and she just talks about how she wants to have a match to earn her way into the Elimination Chamber match. Bayley then comes out. They go back and forth, and they keep talking about how many times they've been champion. Bayley says, that she is a Grand Slam champion, which I think people forget because Bayley always, I feel like, is the forgotten one of the four horsewomen. And then Bianca comes out and says, it's kind of odd for you guys to be talking about the Raw Women's Championship and you don't have the Raw Women's Champion. And I love seeing Montez like thirst for her so much this morning. I don't know if you saw his tweet.
No, I was not on Twitter this morning at all.
Oh no, he like tweeted out a picture of her from last night and was saying like he's so lucky that and he gets to like
God is good
tonight or something. Like anyway.
That's incredible.
So then Pierce says, you know what? How about we have a triple threat match tonight? If Becky wins, she's in the Elimination Chamber match. If Bayley wins, she's in the Elimination Chamber match. But if Bianca wins, then neither are in. So obviously they're the main event. And it's a good match. It's a great match. Obviously, it's the three of them. Like, they're at the top of their games right now. And I like that they all had their own moments in the match. It wasn't like, a domination by one or two or whatever. It was like they all had their moment.
Yeah.
Damage Control does get involved, which then prompted the entire group of girls that are in the Elimination Chamber match to come out and try to stop them, which I thought was like an interesting touch. And Bianca wins with a KOD. I loved that ending with a KOD of Becky on top of Bayley, and then she pinned Bayley. So now we know that they won't be in the Elimination Chamber match, but it seems pretty clear they are not going to end this feud. So do you think this is setting up a match for Mania like we've talked about before?
Yeah, absolutely. It makes sense that these two would fight at Mania at this point just because of how their career trajectories have gone. And I would say that Becky is the one that was, not anymore, but overshadowed and was kind of left in the dust. And then, reinvented herself with the whole man thing and just that soared to new heights.
Yeah.
Now Bayley is.
And that's what, and I agree. I just meant like current times, she's the one that's kind of like forgotten. Yeah.
It's just crazy though. And because Bayley, I would say the best technically. I don't know. Because I think
so good.
She's so much. I think she's better than Charlotte. Okay, wrestling wise.
Okay.
I think Bayley is better than Charlotte. When it comes to the other stuff, Charlotte does have the edge. But Bayley is so good at the element of wrestling that you get it or you don't when it comes to the character element. She's so good at her character and the fact that she went from being, the inflatable Teletubbies to, ding dong hello and ripping children's signs in front of their face. I mean, that's just incredible. And this match, I think, would steal the show at Mania, but it needs to be a specialty match.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about. I think it was just last week. We said if this feud were to continue, which at that point it was kind of like, okay, well, it's still, a month and a half, 2 months away. So will they really continue it? But I think they will because they were trying to get them involved in the Elimination Chamber match. And obviously that didn't happen. So it's like, okay, well, their little fighting, whatever is going on, their little situation is not over because then they both lost. So I think it would be cool to be exactly like what we talked about last week. It's like an I Quit or Falls Count Anywhere. I know we
And
mentioned Iron Man, but we said no because Bayley already did that. So it kind of like you don't
yeah,
want that to overshadow that because that is a really good match. Um, but I think
at
that
the
would
time
make it a little
either,
bit
yeah.
more interesting because we already know we're going to see Charlotte and Rhea. We're probably going to see the women's tag titles. So I feel like it would be cool to have a stipulation, which they haven't done that with the women at Mania yet. And I
No.
think that would be cool. I don't know what, but and to your point too about Bayley, it's crazy how well her turn worked because for a while they were kind of treating her like the female John Cena, where they were like they can't ever turn her because she's so over with the kids. It could
Yeah.
be a disaster, and they did it, and it was kind of a weird time because I think wasn't like some of the beginning of it was kind of during the Thunderdome era. So it was kind of like an iffy timing situation. But I think it's worked really well and you can tell uh how much control she has over her character too because someone is not writing for her to say ding dong, like there's no one
No,
in the
yeah,
creative room telling her to say
yeah,
that.
yes. Yeah.
But
I
I
would
do think that would be a cool thing because I think that would be a benefit for Bayley, especially since we're talking about her in this way that she's kind of been overshadowed by the other women. And if we're talking about Mania, definitely with Mania. I mean, Becky and Bianca killed it. We know Charlotte's killed it. They had that triple threat however many years ago that main evented. So I feel like this would be a really cool moment for Bayley to have with the stipulation too.